Mistake with the Alpha Chapter 89. Jalen point of view. I've never been so proud of Brock in the entirety of my life, but right now, he's the best. We might not be friends, but then what he said now made him want to kiss his feet. I have more, Your Highness, another conniving voice shouted. He then walked to the middle where he could be seen. I know the guy. He's a painter who uses reality as what he paints. He moves about most times with a camera. Who are you? Brock asked. I'm Rufus, Your Highness, he replied with a bow. What do you have to say here? He asked dryly. I'm a painter, but I derive inspiration from things I snapped, but then a few days ago, I was in the woods. I wanted to paint about the woods, so I went there. As I was doing my thing, my camera saw them seated. I thought they were lovers, and I found them beautiful and interesting. So I took their pictures to add them to my story. I would have kept quiet, but then I heard that she's involved with my Alpha, so I decided to come give evidence, he narrated. He then handed the pictures he already printed to the guard, and he gave it to Brock. Brock, after he was done, looking past it to me. The picture contains photos of Sam and the guy sitting so close. At a time, the two were standing, and only the guy's back was showing. It's as if the two were hugging. This is nonsense. I said. I would have snapped more, but then I wanted to respect their privacy. I felt it's rude for me to see a naked woman, so I left, he said. This is all too fake, but then all these people are too blind to see it. I looked at Sam. She was just head bowed and she was sitting. I couldn't even imagine how much pain she would be in. Then something caught my attention in the picture. It was the wristband that I secretly told Ethan to give Sam. I made him promise not to tell me that it was from me. The Vampire King gave it to me and told me that I should put it on Sam's hand. If she's my vampire mate, the band will change its color within 7 days. Ethan told me that he just gave her the band just yesterday, and these fools said this picture was taken days ago. Sam, I think the moon goddess is behind you. Jalen, with all this evidence, do you still have anything to say? Brock asked me. I have a question for the two of you. I pointed at the two guys. In this question, I want you to answer me at once. I could sense their anxiousness. What day is this day that you two say that your activities took place? I was focused on those. Not only me, everyone did. 11 days ago, precisely Friday. 11 days ago, precisely Friday. They chorused. Now I got what I wanted. Okay, thank you, I said. I could see relief on their faces. This is definitely a planned work, but then everyone believed them. How would I save Sam? That's all, Prince Brock, I said blandly. Do you have anything to say for yourself, young ladies? Brock said. Sam was so lost in her own thoughts that she didn't even hear him. A guard had to tap her before she looked up. Did you hear what I just said? He asked her. Yes, I did. Her voice was already weak. I wondered if it was what was happening or her pregnancy. She was really weak. So, what do you have to say? Nothing. Brock looked at her in a quite different way. I didn't know if he suspected her innocence. If he did, I wouldn't be surprised. He is a king to be, and a king must be sensitive in all things. Are you accepting the blame? Yes, I am. That's the Sam I know. She would rather take the blame than then hurting her loved one. Brock looked at me helplessly. I don't understand the message he's trying to pass, so I just looked away. Since I didn't come here for this, I'll let your Alpha decide what to do. In fact, he is the one that has been wronged, so he will decide the punishment to give her. Over to you, Jalen, Brock said. I almost smiled. This guy's just been making my day. I think I'll give him a hug after this gathering. First, I wouldn't say I'm not disappointed, but then it's not a bad thing to get ambitious. It's just a bad thing to get so desperate. Just as I started talking, Sam looked up at me. Her face was plain. I don't know what she was thinking. Well, I don't need her to know. I just need to do what I have in mind. That baby in you is innocent, so I will feed you first, then send you to Hades prison, I said. Sam looked at me, and tears started to form in her eyes. Alpha, you can't do this, she'll die, Sally ran to me. Hades' prison is the toughest place where we put hardened criminals. It's not so large, but then it has a few rooms. No woman has been sent there before. That prison has everything restricted, even the air that flows in. The window is so small because it is just made so that oxygen might blow in. Its iron gate doesn't look like a burglary. It's an iron door without a hole. Even the main gate of Hades' prison is made of heavy iron. So sending Sam, there is like a death sentence. I'm not done, I said firmly. No one is allowed to visit her. Not even her parents. She'll be there till I decide what to do with her. Brock didn't look happy with my decision, but he didn't say anything. I looked at Sally, who was almost crying, and to my mother, who already released my hand when I started talking. I even looked at my father and gave him a look to ask if he was satisfied, but then he looked so defeated. He should be happy with what I did. Why then is he looking sad? I looked at Allison, but then she quickly bent her face. Her father, who was looking at me, gave me a sad look. Some people were already crying for Sam in the crowd. I don't seem to understand those people. You were the ones who wanted her out of my life, and I helped you, yet you were not happy. I expected them to be jubilating, but now they all look sad. Pleasing people is very hard. Anything else? I asked. I was tired of standing. I need to get back to my office. Isn't that too harsh, son? My father asked me. I glared at him and then looked at Brock. I want that idiot to get the hell out of my seat. Is that all? I asked Brock. Instead of Brock replying, he then stood up and left. I don't know what's with his emotions. It's not as if he knows Sam from anywhere. Ethan, take her away, I said firmly. Just as I said that, Sam stood up and waited for Ethan and his men to come. She didn't even argue with them. She followed them silently. I then decided to leave. Jalen, I have to speak with you, my mother said. I'm not interested, I said, and then walked away. I didn't need any of them to tell me what to do. They wanted Sam off me, and I gave them a perfect solution. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications to stay up to date with new videos uploaded. Also check out our next video in the series.